Hello there. Hi, it's me, Scott. I look really tall today. Why is that? Did this just sink down a little bit? Maybe I grew. I don't think I grew. I am sitting on a leg. I'm still having back problems. Hurt my back last week, last Sunday. Made me so cranky the last time we streamed. And I'll probably be cranky today because maybe I'm just a cranky person now. It's hard to say. Um, so I didn't stream all week except for those streams on Monday and Tuesday to get Heat 2.0 approved, which did happen Tuesday morning, and then I accidentally forgot to turn the stream off, so we streamed for like 24 hours straight. Didn't mean to do that. My data cap is probably not going to be happy with me because of that, but oh well. Oh well. Um, I forgot to do one thing. We got to go do this thing, right? This thing over here. Copy this, paste this. So yeah, Heat 2.0 is up. In like the immediate moment, it doesn't mean anything, right? Like from the front end, it's functionally the same. It should scale better, which is good news, and it should be less annoying for me, I hope, going forward. We still have the legacy up. We got to like do all the stuff, like write the documentation, whatever. I just want to deal with that right this minute. Like I'm pretty okay with leaving the legacy version up. Um, we could even write a thing. I don't know if we want to do this. We probably don't. We would write a thing that like figures out who's running Heat right now and like have bot made this send a message to their channel that's like, hey, thanks for using Heat. You need to read this. That might be a really weird thing to do. It's probably a terms of service violation or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's pick some wallpaper because that's the most important part of every stream, obviously. Is this the right thing? No. I still haven't made the wallpaper button. I think all you have to do is set, we have this little external tool that does it, but I don't think we need that because I think all you really have to do is set a registry key. And we could probably figure out how to do that from Node.js, right? Like I think that's literally all it takes to set Windows wallpaper is to just set a key. And look at that beautiful wallpaper. Good job, wallpaper. Okay, so here's what I have decided to do today because Kyle and Binary C just make me, they give me this like financial FOMO that I should be rich by now because of Heat. And it's so, monetizing things is so annoying. Like making money is a real hassle. Making things sucks and it's annoying for sure. But like it comes a little more naturally to me where it's just like, okay, I'll make a thing. And then when I'm done making the thing, I'm like, okay, that thing is done. I don't want to think about it ever again. Um, but like that's actually where sort of the business of making a thing starts. Uh, Kyle, how's it going? Is like, you got to make the thing, and then that's only half the battle. If even half the battle, then you got to get people to care about the thing and look at the thing and pay money for the thing. I used to be pretty good at getting people to look at the thing. Like I've had a couple things that were like, you know, modestly high profile mainstream news coverage and stuff like that, but never money. I never make a meaningful amount of money from the things that I make. Okay, I'm ready for your request that requires no coding. Is it for me to wear a bikini? Is it for me to team up with Amaranth? Is that how you say it? Team up with Amaranth and start a new streaming service with you as the CEO? CEO, Kyle. Oh wait, what, old code? Was there better? What happened? Was there old code that was better? What was the old? What did we do? We break something? Copying and pasting is still coding. It still counts because then you have to actually make sure it works. Maybe it doesn't count as much. What's going on with Video Monster? Video Police? Video Police? Video Monster? These days. Can I actually log into Glitch today? Because sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. Oh no. Great. What happened with the Twitch API? What's wrong now? I for one never assumed that it was good. Okay, so I, Kyle, if you will recall, I believe I went on several tirades about how I didn't think it was going to be robust. Um, Password. Okay, you have learned. Yeah, I mean it's just a well, fortunately, my last version of that, I believe, anticipating this, and just feeling like it was bad code and that it was not going to work, I tried to fully isolate that thing, like try to fully isolate the hack to just right here. So I think if we just do this, then we are okay. I think we should test it. Okay, I'm ready for the better news. What's the better news? Oh wait, is that a different hack? Wait, what's the different? I thought that was the hack. Oh, you can just make you can make your bot follow up. Wait, is that a different hack? What's the different hack? I thought we were talking about the same thing. Oh wait, okay, sorry. What are the two things? Tried to make the changes we tried to make watch mature VODs. I thought that was the hashtag hack. Oh, we didn't end up using that other than to force playing here. Like I basically put everything in here. I think. I think. So let me just comment this out and let me we should never really need this. Like in fact, we kind of got, you know, I think we're in better shape than we were. I think before. So with the one exception being this thing, I don't think we actually need this. So let's just save this, and then oh, what thing is that? That's this thing. Refresh cache of current page. Okay, maybe that works. Possibly, it's possible. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, there's just too many things that we didn't know about the life cycle of what happens. Like our ability to understand the life cycle of what's going on with the API is kind of limited to a handful of events. But we could just even see from the errors that were happening sometimes that life cycle was not valid. Like and it seems like there are actually some bugs in the Twitch API also. Um, because this seek time seems like it maybe didn't work all the times that it should. Jumping to timestamps as its own command for right for mature or just in general. I thought it worked there, especially after we did this thing, but it seems like the Twitch embedded Twitch player does not work the same as the like real Twitch player, and that there were some bugs. Um, yeah, like adding a time command, unfortunately, is pretty annoying because right now we're relying on that URL parser to get the time for us, and so we would have to write our own time parser, and that would suck because all of the seeks are in seconds, but the URLs are not. So either I would have to write a thing that would convert to seconds, which would be modestly annoying, or the command would always have to take seconds. It's a bit annoying. No, we want that one. This one. This one? Yeesh. First time in the stream. It's gonna happen 85 times where DuckDuckGo is useless. And is that what it's called? JS Video URL Parser. That's what it's called. Okay. Well, the good news is if we make this thing where you can enter this, that's almost the same as volume. Like if like single parameter commands is what we would have to make for this, and that's what we need for text, for volume, you know. We just don't have that idea of a single parameter command. I don't even know exactly what it would. There's a couple ways we could think about it. Either we build in parameterized. It's basically parameters with parameters, you know, where it's like volume 0.5 or time 360 or text hello is like you have a command, or you know, which we support lots of, but which we could try. We could try that. I try to just always look at the next thing and see if it looks like the thing we want. That's one way to do it. It's just it's especially hard with text, actually. It's most annoying with text. Time and volume is a little less annoying for sure. I mean, everything's a little fragile at this point, just because we've been kind of like, you know, just hacking on new features. Like if this was a real project, we would be past the time that I would have refactored it to does not actually show what the URLs look like. Oh no, it's in here. None of those have times. This is not useful. It's weird. I thought this supported timestamps here. Or did we have to get a fork of this? Is that what happened? We had to like find somebody had forked this and the fork supported timestamps? Didn't we find a pull request? No, that was Twitch clip URLs. Yeah, it was this person had their own version. But that didn't add timestamps, did it? Yes, I think we're. Let me refresh. Wow. Okay, I think so. So times somewhere in here. Provider. This supports a lot of providers. Twitch. So that added clip support. Do we get a time? Yeah, time. So get time, params t, param start. So they have a get time. Oops. So util has a good time. Good grief. So maybe we could use this get time, get colon time, get letter time, get colon time, gross. So it'd have to match. So does that mean that didn't work? That jump didn't work? So that's actually a get letter time. Yeah, but that's pretty lame because that should work. And I think we did it right. I think the Twitch API is just messed up. I think. In fact, let's just double check that because I think what I'm saying is the truth. I think we did it correctly and that Twitch is broken because we're logging this. I mean, unsurprising to anyone, of course. that Twitch is busted because I think we did that correctly, and I think we're using seek time as advertised, and it just doesn't actually work. Yeah, I don't trust any API. I am in such a on another project I'm working on. Third-party tools are the worst part of programming, almost always. Like dealing with somebody else's stuff. I have another work project that I'm dealing with, this third-party thing, and it is really making my life not pleasant. So, in fact, I have a couple projects like that at the moment. So let's try that same link again and see if it actually gets the right seek time. So you said to jump in at 2 hours, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. Which would be, what, 2 times 60 times 60 plus 2 times 60 plus 23? 73.43? 73.43. Yeah, we have the right time. For sure. And we set video with that time, and it does start playing. There's some dumb thing here. I don't know what that is. Is that a there's an error associated with the player. I don't know what the error what that is. So it feels like, I think at one point we did have a thing that when playing started, we tried to seek. With that, I think worked sometimes, but not all times, I think. We would like, when playing happened, we would force a seek to whatever. To on playing. But we can't, I can't do it on playing because that would probably start a nut hit, there'd be another playing. So I think we could get rid of all the stuff that was the this dot playing. Oh no. Yeah. So I mean, so we could try to do a thing where we force it, but it could potentially cause the same, the same thing you're describing. Like it could cause more brokenness. So I guess my inclination is to try to do it right. How right do we want to try to do this? Is she just busted? What happened to her? I was in the process of changing things, so it may be that we ended up in a broken state. I can refresh. Let's refresh this just to make sure. Okay, so here's the thing that I would like. Here's the way to do this more right. Huh. Let's try this. I don't know. I don't know that this is gonna work. This would be like the first step of doing this in a way that doesn't suck. Um, but it might be kind of a rabbit hole. So let's just sort. So we would have a like a base bridge.js. Like inheritance in JavaScript is barely a real thing. So this might be a, I don't need source lib. Can I just make a new file where I want to? Add file to folder. So we would have something that was like, this is our base bridge. And in a real language, we would be like, this is an abstract class or whatever, like that has to be implemented, or it could be an interface. But this is going to be the thing that says, you know, what these other things can and can't do. So for example, this would be something like import base bridge from base bridge.js. JavaScript might hate this. I don't know. Is that right? Who can say? So you must call this super constructor. Okay, that's fine. So we don't have a super constructor, so that doesn't actually matter, but sure. And then you know, from here, we would try to figure out how can we start cramming, figure out what is shared functionality, what is like totally shared. And again, this is a thing that is better suited for a real language. Maybe if we were using TypeScript, I'd feel less bad about it, but TypeScript sort of, I think it just adds types. I don't know that it adds anything more, you know, it's called TypeScript, not abstract base class script or interface script. So I don't know that it gives you any other fancy language features like that. I don't know. Okay, so now these are all base bridges. So the reason I want to do that is now we want to have the idea of something like set time string, you know, something that we can. The problem with this is the parser. How do we get the parser? Previously, we were parsing on the outside. So actually, this can't be a string. This needs to be like time in seconds. And we'll just say that's what needs to happen. And then yeah, like overwriting and all of that stuff is so weird. And we just would want to know it's always there. And that, in fact, we could say just like console.log, like not implemented. Just so we know, like super keyword unexpected here. Wait, did I put that in the wrong place? Probably. What? You extend a base bridge. Twitch. Extends base bridge in the constructor. Why is super unexpected? Twitch. Oh, it's Twitch clip bridge. Ah. So then what we need to know, we need some idea of like what is the current bridge, you know, like what is. I kind of want to switch from bridge to another name also. So we can have like YouTube, maybe this should just be player or something. Like the initial ideas were bridging from one API to another, but in some cases we don't even have an API. So it's like the naming, maybe not so hot. So we would have something like, Is that actually playing as expected? Just the skip didn't work, right? Yeah, okay. That feels like a bug on Twitch's side that again I feel like it would not be super fruitful for us to get super deep into this because you know, you know. So what we need is some idea of when we do all this nonsense to hide everything. Which is not, which is pretty sloppy. Like we do this and then we like whatever. Is this a class? It's not, right? So it's something like current bridge equals YT or whatever. I don't know. I don't know exactly how I want to do that. I mean, I don't know. We could just try to not get into that yet because there is an alternate way. The alternate way being that if you do a YT, for example, yeah, I mean, in so many cases, it's just like we shouldn't be handling this stuff out here. It just so clutters this class. We should just pass this inside, probably. I mean, so much of this is just redundant that just maps arguments to commands. Like, let's try adding the clock. Oh, gosh. It's just all this stuff that's almost the same. Binary, how's it going? So you're saying when you show it doesn't, sorry, you're saying when you show it doesn't. I'm not a fan of, I'm actually not a huge fan of case statements. I their syntactical structure is just not a thing that I love. Um, Sometimes I use them when appropriate, but the only thing you gain from a case statement versus a bunch of ifs is the ability to have stuff fall through, you know? But I want that like 1 out of 10 times. I almost never want that because you can have a case fall through to the case below it, right? Unless you explicitly put a break statement. I usually want the opposite. I almost never want stuff to fall through. It's almost like I want the cases by default to be mutually exclusive, not to fall through. So then it's the extra mental bookkeeping to be like, oh yeah, I forgot, I gotta have a break at the end of this, whatever. So yeah, I don't know. There's cases where I use them, and there's cases where I don't. I don't, and also just the look of it, the structure of it doesn't look like the rest of the language. I am not a fan of, generally not a fan. Oh, you're saying you're pushing the same video again, but it comes back paused when pushing the exact same video. Yeah, probably because okay, and you did a clear, right? To get rid of it. And you want yeah, when you clear, it obviously should clear. So we could set channel to nothing when we clear, just so we know that the new thing that comes through. That was like specifically a Twitch problem. Like we could specifically say, "Hey, dude, um, let's try that." Mm, this that may be a bad idea, but because otherwise it's not really cleared. You know, it's just there. We could try to force a. So you do a clear, which presumably should get rid of it. Does that work? Looks like it worked. Yeah, sometimes a case is clear. I've adopted a whole new way of using case, which is like or like visually structuring my case statements so they at least feel like a real language to me, or like the rest of the language. So normally it would be like whatever switch statements. I always forget if it's switch or select, and I always forget which language makes me forget that. The normal thing is like this, which just sucks. Like this is whatever, just no good. Like it doesn't look like anything else. It doesn't feel good. So now I at least do like um, now I at least try to scope it with curly braces just to kind of help me um, think of this as a scope. It's still annoying. I still don't like it. I think the syntax should be this. I think it should be that, but it's not. So yeah, it makes me feel slightly better with the curly braces, but I don't like it. Okay, that works. Okay, good. Okay, I kind of forgot what I was doing. So the idea being throw functions in my cases. I have really had a turnaround on my opinions on scoping. I scope stuff all the time now, arbitrarily, just for organization purposes, and I love it. Like, this is not a good example, but if I might just have something where it's like, if I have a structural block that I don't want to break out into a function because I'm becoming more and more a procedural programmer, I'll just do this. Like, out of nowhere, I'll just decide, nope, we're going to just structure this, and then I can say, this is a thing, like where this scope that exists only there for organizational purposes. I don't know if I can even do that in JavaScript in this. Probably can't do it around an import statement, but you get the idea. Like I do this constantly now, and I'm way more likely to do inline functions, like functions inside of functions, if they are only relevant to the function they're in. I think I'm getting better at that. I think, and this my solution is, um, my solution is by default to say I'm writing a procedure and I'm going to write it step by step, and I'm not even going to think about functions. I'm not even going to think about I know whatever fancy things that should come later with objects or I mean even just functions. The idea of calling an external function, like I don't even think about that usually when I'm writing code now. If I and it's only after I do something like 3 times that I'll consider making it a function. And even then, it's a question of, does that function break out, or is that function just scoped to this function where it's actually used? And I think it's helped me because it's made it way easier for me to just always know what's going on, especially as I jump. I'm always jumping between a lot of projects. And so there's always some like mental downtime, some mental, you know, productivity loss to refamiliarizing myself with whatever project I'm working on. And the more that I write my code as just a procedure, it is always easier for me to just dip right back in and be like, okay, I see what's going on here because it's all right here in front of me. I don't have like weird things calling out to the world that call like 7 layers of functions and classes. So I have to like go on a scavenger hunt to even find where the code is. I don't have to worry about somebody externally like changing the state in a weird way while that's happening because my state is all just literally right in front of me. Yeah, but stubbing implies that I'm going to change it, and I might not. I might just leave it a total procedure and then just break it up, visually with with those commented scope blocks, just so I can say like, this is the block that does this thing. This is the block that does this thing. Yeah, it's tough. It's that's a there's also like a order of operations there on, do you write the supporting code first or do you write the implementation code first? And it seems very popular now to be like, oh, we're designing a system here. We got to design, what are all these classes? What are everything you're going to need? Don't worry, we'll write it. And I've used multiple SDKs like that are in development SDKs. In fact, I'm doing it again currently, where I'm kind of a guinea pig on a new SDK developed by a big company, and you can just see how they design. They design like, oh, we've anticipated all your problems. All the classes you need are here. Until you're like, well, actually, you made the thing I need private. I can't, like, the thing, your API you designed is not useful to me because the thing I actually need, you were too careful about encapsulating. Or you made this thing private instead of protected, so I can't even extend the class and get to the thing I need. And it's which is, it's a hard problem. Designing an API is a hard problem, obviously. But at a smaller scale, I've worked with people and see people all the time that try to do that on their own projects, where they're like, oh, I'm gonna like, what do I need? Let me just design the thing that I need and make it a design problem. Um, and I don't think that's how you do it, because I don't think you know the problem until you start to write it. Like I just said with the SDK, it's like it's not until somebody tries to use it that you know, like, oh, actually you need this thing. And so that's a very Casey Muratori thing, which is write your implementation code first. And that is one thing that's driving me insane with Visual Studio Code, though, is it refuses to let me just make up functions that I'm going to write later, because it freaks out and it's like, that doesn't exist. And it tries to autocomplete it to something unrelated. Wait, is great for that in a good way or great for that in a bad way? Or that it's designed well? Okay. Because I've definitely been in that boat where it's bad, where it's I mean, and especially it's also the SDKs that I'm using are fundamentally for like creative work. And so they're so open-ended on what you can do. They probably just didn't think of, they didn't think about it. They didn't think about it before they so carefully encapsulated this thing that it's like, you know, I can't do the cool thing I want to do that I should be able to do with your SDK because you happen to make this variable private, or you were very careful about wrapping it in some immutable structure so I didn't actually accidentally break it, but you wrapped it in such a way that I can't even use it properly. I'm being intentionally vague because it's very NDA'd, but yeah, it's a thing I run into a lot. And so I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to do that to myself where it's like, oh, I'm going to go design all the base classes and I'll design all the classes and then I'll implement it and it'll be great. Like even with this very silly hobbyish thing has been doing the job, and I didn't write. It's only now that I'm even thinking, only now that I have four classes that I'm even thinking about, okay, what would a base class to this look like? Like what would the base class actually want to do here that might be useful? Because now I have the patterns. I see in four different use cases how this could be used. And so I have the patterns. Whereas if I was starting from scratch, it would be a guess. So I don't know. It's not perfect by any means, but I feel like it has made things a little better for me. Obviously, JavaScript is a terrible example for that because JavaScript is JavaScript. Um, and the thing we want to do though, so like all of these have a clear. Is that true? Every one of these has a clear. And if you just say clear, it does that. And if any one of these, so image has a clear, TV has a clear, 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 so that's definitely a good candidate for something to be in a base class. Life is yours. I'm not ready for TypeScript. If I do TypeScript, I can't use glitch, right? I mean, I guess I could. I could set it up to compile, right? Um, this project was never supposed to take that much time or effort. Okay, but we at a minimum know that we want, we need to be able to clear. Okay, everybody clears, no question. Clear is always a thing. So the thing that I want, I guess, is I just want to start passing these arguments into here. Or whatever, parameters, what are we calling those? It's a weird case because our arguments and parameters are a bit different. But you can imagine maybe something like this. And then it would be like, you just would say, hey, process my parameters. And then, this is getting really annoying to look at. But it would be something like this. Um, I guess we'll call it arguments. I bet the companies that make those plastic pools are doing very well. Yeah, I definitely next project that I start that is a JavaScripty project, I will do in TypeScript. I feel like I will do that. I gotta get those floaties, man. So like has arguments needs to live in here. We want to be able to this dot clear. We want to this dot has arguments. For example. So has arguments is going to move into this land, I guess. Just this. Oh, you hear the beautiful water. She's going to go fishing one day. So something like this. And then we have to be careful to, now we have to implement a clear everywhere, right? So if I do this, is this like an implied, because we already do have a clear everywhere, actually. There's just nothing that tells you. Okay, let's try this. If we just say commands a TTV clip, then we're going to TTV clip dot process arguments args, and then we shouldn't need to do this. And that lets us kind of abstract that away. That's 2. One, 2, 3. Four. Okay, this could be quite broken. What's going on over here? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just testing, right? Yeah, you're turning my stream. My stream is supposed to be G-rated, fun for the whole family, and you're just posting smut all over it. Outrageous. Although, as we know, it is not against the rules to be sexy. Or, and no, how did they put it? It's not against the rules for people to think you're sexy. I really liked the way they put it. It was a very good corporate. Being found to be sexy by others is not against our rules. So, and Twitch will not take enforcement action against women or anyone on our service for their perceived attractiveness. I don't know, man. Well, you want to know what the real point is? The actual point of all of this is advertising, right? That's why the new section is there. You assume that some advertisers complained, right? That's when Twitch really starts to care. Of course. Okay, this could have broken everything easily. This could have easily broken everything. I'm not crazy about this because it's not explicit. I mean, like Java to override a function, you just say it, right? Like there's no, it's not explicit. So there's no indication. Yeah, you don't have to, you just say, you just redeclare it and there's no, You don't know that that's happening. No, no, I think yeah, you're probably right, Binary C. It's just that they wanted to be able to uh, split the ads, right? So you can have the smutty ads with the smut. Yes, yeah. I think that's sure. Yeah, no doubt. So you can have, because I'm sure there will be advertisers that specifically want to advertise to to that market. So we have the clip, TTV. Yeah, obviously, pool floating companies. It's a huge industry. Okay, um, Kyle, could you play anything and then try to clear it? Maybe because it's possible I broke everything, or it's possible that everything is amazing now. Hard to say. It's me. Hello. How are you? I'm fine. Okay, clear seems like it works. I think we're already in that future. I mean, maybe you're not as much because you're not in the United States, but we in the United States we are in that future. I'm pretty sure. It's like I think about that often when I'm outside. How far and long I can go without being advertised to is not far. Okay, so that seems good. So what this means is that we can start to, and we have a lot of cleanup to do. Do these all have a hide and show? So images have hide and show, clips have hide and show, Twitch TV has hide and show, YouTube has hide and show. Okay. So let's put all that in the base class. I'm not crazy, but yeah, this it's like so whatever. JavaScript. What can we do? Nothing is the answer. I've somehow gotten into insert mode and glitch again. Who knows how? Um, so hide. Like here, hide, show, and then back out here, all the hide and shows. That's number one. That's number two. That's number three. That's number four. Okay, then almost everything has a mute and unmute, right? Mute, unmute, mute, unmute. No, it's only Twitch. That's okay. So let's add mute and unmute. Captive is right. Oh boy. The most, I don't generally consume media that has advertising. Like I just don't. It's one of the reasons I don't watch Twitch. Um, oh, Captivate, great. Yeah, it's same thing. Um, but there are times that I find myself like held hostage by media, and it drives me insane. In fact, the worst. It's been a few years, but the worst experience among it's not the worst, but it's among the things that stand out as like really agonizing experiences is when I would have to I'd go to Texas for a long time, for long periods to help take care of my grandmothers when they were both living and they're both in their 90s. And I would frequently take them to doctors' offices. and the doctors' offices would, because it's Texas, would always have Fox News on, and because they were doctors' offices for elderly people, the volume would always be maximized. And under any other if I was ever in a situation like that in any other circumstance, I would have headphones in blaring so I wouldn't have to listen. But because my grandmother's, their hearing wasn't the best, I would have to not be listening to anything so I could listen for when the nurse would call their name. So I would just have to sit there sometimes for hours listening to Fox News at top volume or and listening to all the Fox News advertisements at top volume. It's truly awful, truly horrible. You are part of the dystopian future binary. You are the you're like the Shinra employee defending Shinra. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Okay, so this is potentially good, and now we want to try to. So we're getting rid of a lot of redundancy, which is good. Um, all these shared commands, I don't really know what to do with those. Those really shouldn't be part of the. Yeah. Okay, so we need pause, mute, and unmute. Pause, mute, and unmute. Pause, mute, unmute. Let's start with those at least. And that means play also, I guess. Play, pause, mute, unmute. Play, pause, mute, unmute. Don't worry, Kyle wants volume added. We'll get there. Um, play. Heat 2.0 is fully approved now. So these clicks are coming through Cloudflare binary. It's happening. We did it. Play, pause. Wait, what have I done? Oh no, I already did that. Don't do this. Mute, unmute. Should we call that seek? I guess let's call it seek. So we have clear, play, pause, mute, unmute, hide, show, and seek. We've got hide and seek. Get it. Get it. Seek. That's true. Also, I did realize there's some Twitch analytics for extensions, but they're pretty weird how they expose them. I haven't even looked at what the billing will be. I did switch. Actually, I switched to the that other billing thing, so it should just be $5 a month, unless I end up with 10 million clicks or whatever. No, it would be a command. Like seek would be a command, and then we're going to try to set up the arguments for it. We're going to try at least. We'll try seek and volume as well, not seal. Seek. That's what we will try to actually add now that we have this. It's going to be a little weird to do, but we'll. Yeah, the stupid parsing thing. Right, I forgot for a second. That's a little problematic. The time parsing is really annoying. Maybe we can figure out a way around it. Um, because it's not going to just be time. Let's just try that. I could get some Russian hackers, get some Russian and Chinese hackers to DDoS me. The I wonder if I could filter out a lot. I'm pretty sure I could filter out a lot of stuff like that at the. In fact, pretty sure I could. I don't know exactly how. Hmm. Trying to think if I could filter out a lot of that with page rule because I always know there's an authentication header that is needed, but I can't decode that authentication header in a page rule. Like I'd have to do it in a worker anyway, so it's a bit hard. Um, okay, workers. So heat production, we've got 25,000 in the last 24 hours. So we're at 130 in the last week or so, and I get 10 million. So 10 million a month. So I'm not super worried. The pricing for multiple millions is not the worst. Yeah, oh, life is yours. You haven't if you missed all the Cloudflare streams, this is the new jam. This is the new we're done. We're done with Heroku and Doku. We're done with Node. We're done with it. It's all Cloudflare workers now. It'll change your life because it's like Lambda functions, like AWS Lambda, but you can also have WebSockets and persistent data storage in a couple different ways. So all of Heat now runs just as a Cloudflare worker process, which is like, serverless function kind of thing. Oh yeah, yeah, it does. It does. But I could do, if I saw that I was being DDoSed, I could go push the button that says I'm being DDoSed. Wherever isn't there a button that's like help I'm under attack? Yeah, this. But this would not this would I couldn't do this like show, you know, this would just break Heat. I can't show a challenge. Yeah, there may be some separate. I haven't looked into it to see if there's some separate DDoS thing for workers. I should look and see. I need a little bit more. I think I fixed that problem with getting 2 hits per person with the options and by changing the way the URLs work, getting that options method and get method every single time. I think I fixed it, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think this is going to end up being like I tend to run. Wait, that's requests. Where's the duration? That's weird. So, that is a little weird actually. Why would that have taken so long? Unless it was waiting for the forwarding. I am also probably paying extra because of the forwarding to the legacy server. So that is the thing we will want to get rid of eventually, for sure. Yeah, I wonder. You're probably right. You would think so. You would hope so. You would hope that that would be true. Okay, so what do we have now? Clear, clear, play, pause, pause, mute, mute, unmute, unmute, hide, hide, show, seek, seek, volume, volume. We have clear, play, pause, mute, unmute, hide, show, seek, and volume. We're ignoring the like parameterized arguments for the moment because that's a whole nother thing. Um, but so that now means we can cut out a little more nonsense. So I think we can get rid of all of this. This should be a show clip. I'm gonna get rid of all this. So that's helping this stuff be more concise. We did add pause, so I think we can get rid of all this. And I think we can get rid of this. This is a little more annoying, like this parsing. But I'm gonna leave this for the moment out here. And I think we can get rid of all of this. Kyle, either this is getting way better or I'm like super breaking it. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. So this like finding the URL thing. We could probably drop down into the argument processing, honestly. Because all we do is look for a URL. Like that's easy enough. That just wants a URL. This wants a URL or a channel, which is slightly annoying, but not that big of a deal. Yeah, we got a fair amount of special cases there. So we play if there was a URL or if there was an explicit play. Like, yeah, a lot of this stuff is a little bit of a mess. Not crazy about it. Because we kind of want, we really want to do something where it's like, hey, if a command comes in for a certain bridge, you should just hide all the other bridges. Like just kind of implicitly. Anytime you that means having some notion of like what all the bridges are. I mean, we could just call like clear all first. You wouldn't want to do that because then you'd always have to like explicitly show the one. I don't quite know what to do about that yet. Okay, so anyway, the this play thing is annoying. So we just say show and play. Images just say, yeah, show and play. Show and play. Yeah, so much of this is just finding the URL. So, and this is so redundant. Because we have the args. So really, we could like stick this at the end of everybody's process arguments if we wanted. And we could, okay. I think we're gonna try this. This will probably break stuff. Like basically at the end of everybody's, yeah, so what it would look like is probably something like, at the end of process arguments for any given one of these, we'd want to do this, and then we'd want to. I don't know why the YouTube one is so long. Process arguments, process arguments, process arguments, process arguments. Okay. And those always currently just call the base class. Okay, so before I go any further, let's do a quick test and make sure I haven't destroyed everything. So I already have YouTube Bridge 41. Oh, super dot process. My mistake. Okay, let's do a quick test of these and see how broken they are. Because it could be real broken. Okay, Kyle, do you want to do a couple quick tests? Just try like YouTube and Twitch. I mean, just randomly test a few things, I guess, because if anything's broken, everything will be broken. Probably. And then we'll just have to do a more thorough test. But I just want to be sure it works at all right now because it might not. A buildup of pressure in my forehead. No, I think only I don't get that from, maybe I get that from if I'm frustrated about what I'm working on, which certainly happens. But broadly, no. Is that you trying to have a brain baby, to like birth a brain baby? You should also try like mute and unmute and you know, play, pause, whatever other things. This will hopefully make it a little easier to maintain everything. I don't know if it will, but I hope it does. I really do. I'm a boy Buck Bunny. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you're allergic to React. What happened? Was there something that was muted and then oh wait, desktop audio is not playing? Why not? Whoa. So you can't hear music either. Great. What awesome thing has happened? Good grief. What has happened? Why do I suddenly not have desktop audio? I should get that from display capture, right? Or where does the actual desktop audio come from? Man. It should be whatever I'm hearing, basically. Okay. I try to keep that music quiet. It just, for some reason, I get weirdly self-conscious if I can't. Okay, so does it seem like this is working? It kind of seems like it's working. Okay. So that's a little less awful. We've pared down quite a bit, which is good. But now the worst part of all of these is still yet to be paired. So like we'd have to basically, the short version is just take this whole nightmare. Can't actually see where these line up. Is this, where is the indent here? That's that one. Okay. Is if we just crammed this whole thing inside the process arguments. I mean, we definitely know there's some redundancies here. Actually, where I think it is, yes. So if we just took all of this and took it and put it inside the YouTube's process arguments for now, and then we know we can, like, you know, clean some of that stuff up a little bit. Okay, so that would be YouTube. Wow, those boobs are impressive. And then, yeah, it's just such a mess. Is that this whole thing? So that's the Twitch bridge process arguments, needs that. Some of this is still redundant, but I think that's okay. Because find URL can certainly be shared, because we use that a lot. Okay, getting closer, we're getting closer. This then will go inside the clip. Very convincing boobs. Twitch clip bridge gets a process arguments. You can't unmute. Okay. Good to know. You tried to unmute Twitch. Can you try just a TTV unmute again? Wait, you did a YT unmute. And this is TTV, right? Okay, try that again. But you pushed a... oh. Mute and then unmute. Okay, let me... I'm about to probably break more... okay, has arguments is not defined. Okay, that's fine. I know what the problem is there. Okay, cool. So I'll fix that in 1 second. So let's add this to the clip. I actually want play probably after this. Yeah, I see what I broke. It'll give me 1 second and we can fix that. Okay. So let's show image. Okay, so much more concise. So that's the image bridge. That's this. Show image. We're just missing a lot of this dots on YouTube bridge, which would be here. This dot has arguments. And here. No, here. This dot, this dot, this dot, this dot. Okay, image bridge doesn't have that. Okay, we're gonna have a problem now though. We're definitely gonna have a problem now. So the problem now, shoot. Okay, I don't actually know what to do about this. This is a problem. We're gonna just be a little silly about it. Okay. So those all become this dots. We'll get the URL. This goes away. Those become this dots. These go away. Those become this dots. Now this all goes away. Those become this dots. And then in here, we're basically going to say, I don't know the best way to do this. Any version of this is not very good. But the very silly version is this. I know we'll be fine until I come up with a better way. Something like that. Okay, let's refresh this. Are you getting iffy from those ifs? Oh no, we could do a case statement, but for now we're gonna say iffy. Okay, try now. Probably more things are broken, but we'll see. We probably want to like have a separate handle CSS or something like that.
Aren't I fucking beautiful, bitch? Yeah.
It is beautiful, it's true. Okay, so now that's all fine. Has argument's a little redundant. I think it's okay though. Hot tub party. Okay, so you said unmute and it says not implemented. So that's weird. That seems wrong. This is a VOD, not a clip, right? Yeah, so why did we say that unmute? Oh, it's unmute, capital N. Sure it is. I'm a little torn on that one. So that would only be for Twitch Bridge, where we have an unmute, and YouTube Bridge, and we have an unmute. Okay. Oh, this is perfect. That's what you want. You want all the echoes. It helps with calibration. Okay, refresh again. Okay, so this still is terrible, but maybe it's less terrible. In fact, there's one more layer to clean up, I think, which is get URL. In the base, we could do
I just want to go back.
Odd to come in and protect me from all the trolls.
that? Erotic string cheese? Interesting. Okay, what have I broken? We need to say okay. Get URL will loop through all the arguments, see if it starts with HTTP, and then if it does, it'll return that argument, otherwise it'll return null. Probably a more concise way to do that, but that seems not too terrible. Not too terrible. Okay, so this, if this works, it'll be good. If it doesn't work, we should know quickly because it will break every single thing. So we want to say let URL equal something like that. Did that work? Seems like it didn't work.
I just want to go back.
Null. Great. Why didn't that work? Base bridge. We loop through here. If argument, then we should return the argument. How did we break that? That doesn't... Thoughts? Argument index of HTTP is greater than or equal to 0. Return the argument. And if we somehow make it out of there, what? Well, whose side? Life is yours. Whose side are you on? I don't want to ever add anything to this ever. This is Kyle is forcing me. Kyle is forcing me to do this. However, you are very welcome. I think you should take over development. You can be the boss of this. I don't know how I ended up working on this for an hour and a half. Again, it just eats my life away. I never wanted to work on this. It's all Kyle's fault. Why didn't this work? Why doesn't this work? We said get a URL. We saw a thing that looks like a URL. We should have immediately returned to that thing. Or is that only bailing out of this? Okay, so we probably do need to like let... Since we're in this little sub lambda function, I think that's what we're actually returning from, which is not what we want. What happened if we made it all the way through that and never returned? We go through that for each. And just return. Okay. Slightly weird. I can? Well, but it's the argument. Oh, I see. Interesting. Instead of index 0. What do you know about that? I know this stuff. Oh, this function. I don't think I knew about that includes. That's handy. Looks a little bit nicer than the weird. Wait, why didn't that work? Wait, not this. Good grief. I'm having some weird scope problems. Okay, we got it. Yeesh. I don't know why we logged that 3 times. Must have already logged it outside. Okay, do this. We did it here as well. We already log it here. Okay. 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 Did we do it? I think we did it. Okay, now we want to just do this everywhere. And it's only going to get more annoying. So that one's just a URL, so that's fine. We'll leave channel alone for now. This is... Okay, maybe this isn't so bad. Because it's actually not the URL search that's bad, it's just this annoying thing that we do after the fact with all this song and dance. And that song and dance is still duplicated a little bit, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Okay, so we'll do this. Annoying. This one is not that bad. Okay, let me refresh this again. Give it a kick. Kick the tires. And then now, now the thing we're finally ready for is arguments to our arguments, parameterized arguments, argument parameters, who knows. Which
Fuck out of me, dude. I know.
Are you a little
turned on?
I understand.
It's a little confusing when you find yourself.
Hey, look at all those
trapped
kisses.
somewhere.
I see kisses there. Looks like heat is heating up. Okay, so then the thing we want to figure out is how do we have an argument like seek or volume. We need something that's like get argument value or something that's going to first try to find the argument and then look at the following argument to see if it looks like a reasonable value. Okay, so life is yours. You're telling me I can do if args contains argument. So if we have an argument, now I can't, that doesn't work actually. I need to know the index. So in this is a case I actually do need index. So let index of index equals args index of, you know, I'm streaming for years now. I don't know that I've definitely messed up It's me. Hey, it's me. Okay, so hey, okay, so if let index so this is if index is greater than or equal to 0, then we know we're good. Now, if index is less than args.length minus 1, I forget the JavaScript syntax, so that we know that we're less than, so then it's going to be like let value equal args index plus 1, console.log value. Okay, so let's try a something like this, and then the same thing for volume. Volume value. The problem is, you know, anything could be after that, so we're gonna have to do some sanitizing. So it could be like a TTV seek 10. Yeah, but it could also be like TTV seek contains and includes. Well, Kyle, right now it's not in terms of anything. I think we can try that parser to see, but yeah, right now it doesn't exist. Contains. I don't know what I would expect. I don't really know what other languages. I mean, contains is a pretty frequent thing in C# for a collection. Like, you know, does your dictionary contain this or that, whatever? So yeah, Kyle, it would potentially be, seconds is definitely what it wants. We could try to make it parse those other things, maybe. But you could also have like TTV seek, you know, whatever. And so we have to be careful of, oops, not select, TTV seek, whatever, TTV volume, whatever. We just have to be careful that they're numbers, because I don't want to like accidentally break the player by feeding it an invalid value, you know? Selleck, Tom Selleck. He's a handsome man. So, which you'd hope their player would just like gracefully, you know, hopefully they're sanitizing, but who could say? So that actually makes this more annoying, because then it's our job. Whose job is it to try to sanitize that? Not the get argument thing, because it doesn't know what type you want. It's the job of the function, I guess. So we'll try it on Twitch Bridge to start with. Okay. This up player to seek value, this up player to volume value. So if we try, how many seclets? What do we want here? We need, I need my buddy. I need my buddy Buck Bunny, but my chat history is just all porn, basically. It's outrageous. It's all smut. Wait, no, I can't do that. Actually, we'll just do me. Okay. TTV. Yeah, but I've only added it to Twitch. So we'll do a Scott made this muted. So, oh, well, we can't do that. I need a VOD. Good grief. Sorry, Kyle, could you get a VOD of me, please? Or just any VOD. Just some VOD, if you could TTV it. Thanks. So we should be able to TTV VOD this. My favorite VOD. Wait, did that one seek properly? Why did that one seek properly? Did you see that? Wait, did I do... What did I do? Oh, it's just remembering from last time? Okay. So you're telling me if we just do that over here, like do that in Firefox, it's not going to work? Not you. You go here, here. TTV this. Okay. So, okay, so if we say TTV seek 600, did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. We got the value. What did I do wrong? We said we should have at least gotten a not implemented. Base bridge. Twitch bridge. Wait, did one of them seek and not the other one? Now I'm very confused. I'm not sure if that volume parameter is even right. Okay, do this. Yeah, but I just mean the, yeah, that's fine. But the the seek command I just did. Seems like it isn't calling the. Like this isn't getting called, it would seem. So what do we say? The base bridge. If seek value, I guess is just like not equal null. You'd think it would pass that comparison either way. Should call this .seek. What obvious thing am I missing? Okay, one obvious thing that I'm missing is this should be volume value. So we're saying get argument value. Yeah, we're not returning it. Okay, sure. We need to say let value equals null. We're doing the same thing. And then return null. We'll just do it like this so we don't have to have a bunch of returns. I'm doing a bad job at writing functions that return properly today. Could not convert 6,000 as a string to a double. So, and that was the whatever, some Amazon problem. So we made it that far. So they're not trying very hard to sanitize, it would seem. So we had a minimum need to call Mumber. So, is that the right way to do this? Can I do that? I don't remember how to do that in JavaScript. We'll see. Seek 6. Seek 7,000. Why didn't that work? We're saying oh yeah, it's not seek, it's TTV. Duh. TTV seek 5,000. I accidentally did, that number was too big. TTV seek 5,000. I'm doing great. Okay. So that seems like it worked. TTV seek 0. TTV seeks 600. Should be 10 minutes. Yes. And then also TTV volume. I don't know what the scale is for volume. This set player to volumes on a function. Okay, so how do we set volume? Oh, it's embed. Okay, so seeking to seconds should work. Fancy parsing, I don't know about yet, but you can seek to seconds. Embedding, which may be as far as we get today. Let me try to do volume, and then you can test it, and then maybe we'll try to make it fancier another day and parse. I thought there was a volume. Okay, it's set volume, and it wants a float. So it's between 0 and 1. So for set volume, it's normalized 0 to 1. Okay. Let's try this. It's very possible that there could be weirdness if you try to pair volume or seeking with other commands. Did that change the volume to 0.5? I guess you have to unmute still. I have two things I hate about GitHub. One is their pricing, because I think it's really deceptive. And two is that there's no idea of like hierarchies of projects. Okay, but are you telling me I can have a project that is a high-level project that coordinates among multiple? Because that would be interesting. So if we had a basic Kanban, I don't know if it's Kanban, Kanban, Kanban. There's a security flaw. Okay, let's set this. You do have to unmute though. I don't know. 0.1? Oh, yes. Really? Because Phil Powers was really trying to get me to sell me on TypeScript, which I think I'm ready for because I don't want to hear my own voice. Okay. It's a lot of me. I know. It's too much. I think, Kyle, I just refreshed. You're gonna want to do some testing. It is very possible that using volume and seek paired with other commands could cause really weird results. But it might also just work. It might just work. It might be totally fine. Maybe. Okay. What are we actually doing today? Now that we've spent the last hour and 45 minutes trying to appease Kyle, who somehow has become my boss. I don't know. The thing is I know someday, like, you know, Kyle's going places, no question. And Kyle is going to like work out some deal with Amaranth where she's going to pay, you know, $260,000 for a custom version of Heat. And then he's going to take 10% of that, which is fine. 10% producer's fee is totally fine. So he'll get 26K and then I'll take the rest and it's going to be great. Okay. So the thing that we actually wanted to think about today, which is annoying and that's partially...
Well, and protect me from all the trolls.
Uh-oh, did changing the volume hide the video? Did changing volume just hide the video? Oh, volume's not implemented for YouTube. By the way, so what? Oh, okay, no, but you were playing YouTube? Okay, so there's a new thing you need to know about. Yeah. If you, anytime you use a different command, and this, we kind of have to have this for this command sorting. If you use a TTV command while showing YouTube, it will get rid of YouTube because it will get rid of that player. I'm sorry, I know that was different from before, but now, yeah. So now they are exclusive when you use the commands. I should have warned you about that.
To come in and protect me from all the trolls.
So, but YouTube does not have volume at the moment, but we could probably add it. Let's look at that real fast. YouTube iframe API, because I think it should have volume. Yeah, it does. So we should be able to add that really quick. I'm not sure about seeking on YouTube, but we can look at that too. So that's YouTube bridge. So the Twitch bridge, we had what did we do? We did this. And the YouTube bridge, we did this. And volume, okay, this is annoying. On the YouTube side, volume is between 0 and 100. So I'll just multiply this times 100, I guess. On the YouTube side, so it's always 0 to 1. And so seeking, I'm not sure about seeking on no, because you're putting in a normalized value, 0 to 1. So if you're always putting 0 to 1 and we want to scale that range 0 to 100 for YouTube, we have to multiply times 100. Yeah. It would be the opposite if we wanted to auto. Okay, so you don't need seek on YouTube. We do have a seek too. I mean, if it's easy, I'll just do it. Seeks the specified time in the video. Yeah, I think we can just do this. I think it looks like it just takes seconds. So I'll just add it, even if you don't need it. And it hopefully will work. Yeah, YouTube API, you know, been around for a really long time. So, okay, that's refresh. So the thing we actually want to think about with Heat, now that Heat 2.0 is up and running, and I'm still paranoid that it's broken, but it seems to work, and it seems very snappy. I'm still annoyed by the legacy thing, but I'm going to leave that up for a month or two. In fact, we should just, like, should really make a note of that.
And protect me from all the trolls.
Did that work that time? Maybe? Maybe it did. Okay. I hate you, YouTube. I mean, GitHub. I can't get to the place I want to be from the stupid landing page you dropped me on. And I also can't single click get to the place that I want to be. Like, most useless landing page on Earth, possibly GitHub. There's like the landing page of GitHub. There's literally nothing here that is interesting to me. Like this explore repositories, I would never care about in a million years. This activity this is not a social media site. I have zero interest about who's following me or not. This recent activity is almost helpful, but I want to go to the project that it's on. I don't want to go directly to the issue. And whoever wrote this should just be fired. There's no rhyme or reason to what repositories are shown here. So the repositories that I've been working on recently are usually not shown here. Like, when was the last time I worked on this? 26 days ago? Several months ago for that one? Like, the ordering of this is asinine. It's so stupid. At least they finally, it used to be worthless here too. They finally changed it where you could sort by last updated, which of course is what you would want. It's really dumb. Yeah. GitHub does have a web UI. I know it's shocking.
Oh, really? Because Phil Powers was really...
It's me again. Because I'm just trying to get used. I'm trying to do this. I don't know if I like it. Instead of using external project tools, I'm trying using... what's its face? You know, what's its face? But I don't know. I also wish I could click Heat Workers and go right to the Heat Workers repository. But I can't, seemingly, so I have to go here, and then here, and then here. Monday? I mean, I could use it, whatever. There's a million of them, right? Monday or Airtable or Asana or Trello or Jira or whatever. But like, my code is already on GitHub. So it would be nice if I didn't need like some totally external thing. I kind of want to just keep it all in one place. Yeah, I know there's a million integrations, but I wanted to see if this would work. I'm leaning towards no being the answer. Drop legacy support. So I'd have to do this and add this new issue. And then if I want it on the project, I have to go back to the to go back here and here and here. And now I have to say, oh, I want to add that card. Yeah, it's not great. That's not great. I just haven't found there's so many. Yeah, I mean, if I had one tool that I liked, I guess I don't know. I've yet to find one. Do you like Monday? I haven't actually used Monday. I've used many other ones because every studio I work with uses some other, some different tool. We're using Airtable on the current project I'm on. It's okay, but it's a Monday trial. I kind of don't trust Monday because I just inherently don't trust companies that have an insane amount of that's weird. An insane amount of advertising, like online advertising. It just makes me want to, the more whatever, like YouTube ads or whatever I see for a product makes me not want to use it. Okay, so we will drop legacy support at some point. So the bits thing is there's a couple ways we could do it. Let's try a real search engine. No, where is just the developer documentation?
Don't cry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, some of these projects I'm working on with dozens of people, dozens of developers, dozens of artists, sending art assets in, whatever. Like it's important to, above a certain scale of project, you just need to coordinate. But I just want something more than anything just to say like, how can I keep track of my own projects as I jump around between 30 projects and not forget what's going on. And I've used external tools for that in the past. I don't know. Okay, so GitLab, I kind of like GitLab, but there's so many things about it that are pretty janky. And I've definitely had like critical moments of things on GitLab. This has been years ago, but some critical moments in which GitLab nearly failed me, which is disconcerting. Okay, so these are our options for monetization, which I don't understand this because they say extension monetization guide. Like this is a way to make money from an extension. However, it says subscription status support allows an extension to view a user's subscription status for the current channel. In this way, developers can tailor the features they wish to offer to a viewer status. But that doesn't seem, they offer no way for me to make money from that. As near as I can tell, there's no way for me to monetize there, which kind of sucks. Like you would think, you'd hope there'd be some way that it's like, oh, if you click through my extension to get a sub, then I should get a percentage of it or whatever. But so I don't have, even though this would be easier by far than messing with bits, I don't think there's not a way for me to make money with this, so I have zero incentive to do it. Alternatively, there's this, which is monetizing with bits. So the main thing I wanted to do today was just kind of like think through what the implications of that would be and how I would build it in a way that isn't too annoying. And I think the two obvious ways to monetize, I mean, there's a number of ways you could think to do it, but the two very obvious ways are either you sell a number of clicks, which means I have to do the accounting of that. I have to do bookkeeping and make sure I never forget a click, and every click is accounted for and all that, and do a lot of real-time bookkeeping on tens of thousands of clicks, and then maintain that somewhere just in case the server goes down. Whatever. Like that feels like bookkeeping I don't want to deal with. Alternatively, yeah, great. I need a blockchain for clicks. I don't know that they tell me what the cut is. I've looked through the documentation and I have not actually seen. Maybe it's somewhere buried in the documentation, but I don't think I've actually seen it. So that's one way, is selling a number of clicks, and I think that sucks. Like I kind of don't want to deal with that. So the other very obvious way is to sell heat for an amount of time, which is like X number of bits gets you heat for an hour, like whatever we decide. Do you really think it's 0.01%? Are you making that up, or are you just trying to hurt my feelings? Because I feel like bits are already not a very good deal. But also that wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, it's too much. Okay, so yeah, so the idea would be that the streamer would say, they'd have to mark in some way to say, hey, I want to charge bits for heat. Maybe they can set some price tiers. Maybe they can't. Maybe that's just kind of set in stone. I don't know. Probably they should be able to set the prices. I don't think that they can set the durations and stuff, but that's whatever it is, they have to turn on the feature, and I have to keep track of that. I'm pretty sure there is a Twitch configuration service where you can like store some configuration stuff on. Maybe I do want to do it that way. With the configuration service. Anyway, that's part one, is however I store it, the broadcaster they need to say that they want to charge bits. So that's number one. It's actually easiest for me to do the sub thing, but yeah, then I never get any money. Like, that's the easiest one to implement, actually. But it's kind of lame. What about all my riches? What about all my riches? So okay, so there'd be some configuration thing that says I want to charge for heat, whatever that looks like. And it's a little awkward on how you would expose that because we're just an overlay with like we have like no other information on our overlay. So like, where do we show that information? Does it go over the top of the video, or do we also have to make another panel? I know, look at all these people exploiting me with kisses. Kissing me for free. So there's that part of it. And then there's the part that every time a click comes through, I need to... Okay, binary, someday. Someday I will be a hot tub streamer. We'll get there. I'll charge... You can just PayPal me directly for heat access. I'll manually whitelist your IP. So say a click comes through. One, I have to see if the channel, this is every click also, which is kind of lame. I can cache some of this stuff, but this is pretty lame. I have to see if the channel requires bits, and then I have to look up and see if there's a transaction for you that says that you can use bits on that channel. And I just, then the bookkeeping is up to Twitch, to show that transaction happened. So those are kind of annoying things to do. And unfortunately, I don't think I can do any of it client side just because it'd be too easy to fake. Like, not that there'd be a huge danger of that, but you could. I need to be able to verify that everything is real. And I don't think some stuff that comes from Twitch is kind of signed and it says what's up, but some stuff I have to either query directly or get from them via a webhook. So for example, I can look up so there's this thing, this API, like there's a webhook where they could tell me, but I don't know if I want that. Oh, this is okay. This isn't exactly what I thought. So this says every transaction for the extension. I thought it was going to be per user. Huh. Well, that's not exactly ideal. I was hoping I could look up for a single user and a single channel. So I can know... Okay, so that's not great, actually. Get extension transactions. Your extensions. Okay, so it seems like my two options are really three options, but one of them I don't think is really viable. Is that I like periodically hit. This doesn't seem like the way to do it. This seems more like, you know, when starting up, I'd have to go through and look at history. What a horrible way. Yeah, this kind of sucks. Like I would just have to have some worker that was like fetching this page by page. Maximum number of objects to return. And the cursor. So yeah, I'd potentially have to like manually page through pages and pages of transactions to get all of the ones that mattered. I would way rather say like I need all transactions after a specific date or something like that, but it looks like they don't do that. Oh, Twitch. Okay, well that sucks, and I don't like that. So the other option is so the other option is to use this webhook, and then I would subscribe, and then they would just tell me anytime somebody transacted, anytime there was a transaction, this webhook would get hit and tell me about the transaction, and then I could store it. And I could know that this person, you know, for 1 hour from this timestamp was valid. And I could store that in a, is that a free history? Sorry, what do you mean? That other history? The other endpoint? This one basically gives me history that I have to page through manually, you know, 100 transactions at a time until I find the oldest that I want. This gives me real time. No, this gives me real time, but no past. Yeah. So it's right. Then I don't have to, I mean, kind of. I can't easily, the thing I would want their API to offer is that I can say, here's a user, here's the time frame, are there any transactions in that time frame? And I seemingly cannot do that. That's what I would want. It's more like I just have to search through every transaction ever that happened to see if user X was there. So yeah, I may have to do this. Like we may have to do this anyway. Like if the server goes offline and then comes back up, we might have to do this thing where we're like, okay, when the server comes online, you've got to go through all of history. And if anybody's valid in that history, you just have to page through with their not very good paging. Yeah, it seems very silly that you can't pass a date to this. But you can't pass a date to this. You just have to look at every transaction that ever happened in the history of the world. And maybe, hopefully they're ordered by date, but who knows? Like this seems poorly thought out, shockingly. Yeah, and then for real-time things, I could just get them in real time, right? Like I can know in real time. So that is if I want to, obviously this is like the secure way to do things. So everything's on the server and the user can't mess with it in any way. Maybe there's some secure way to do it where when the client sends their payload, they send to me whether or not they have a valid transaction. So for example, they could send, their payload could include a transaction, like basically include a receipt. And then I could look up that receipt with this. I could give it this, and I could say like, okay, is that a valid receipt? Is it for this user and it isn't? Is it in the right time frame? Then yes. So that's actually pretty good because then there's no bookkeeping. It works with all of history, but it does mean that there's a query per. I mean, I guess I could cache it once I knew that once you showed me your receipt and I knew what the date is, I could cache that date and then not have to query the next time. So that actually doesn't sound too bad. Assuming but if you like refresh your web browser, you probably don't have your receipt anymore. Yeah, so if you're just a user and you refresh your web browser, because you got that receipt from the process of from the bits purchase. Can I get a transaction based on user? Like get my transactions or something? Of course not. Wait, am I still in, is this in Twitch 5 migration land or is this in real Twitch land? That's migration guide. This is reference. Okay. Okay, so you're telling me that there's not a way for me to look up transactions for a user. Doesn't that seem really dumb? Doesn't that seem really dumb? So there's like a thing where you pay money. There has to be a way. There has to be a way to say, what are my transactions, right? Right? Yeah, so you get an on transaction complete. So, but that's not what we need. We need, no. How do we know? Okay. How is there not a way, if I'm a person and I purchased something, to see a receipt for the thing that I purchased? That has to exist, right? 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 Does seem like Twitch, yeah. That can't be right. There has to be a way. So if there is bits enable, what a pain in the butt. Exchanging bits for a product. When a viewer wants to use bits with an extension you call use bits functions on the extension helper, this function takes the SKU of the product the viewer wants to exchange. The function is invoked as this. So we use bits. If the user is logged in, then you get the dialog. If there's enough bits, you got to confirm. The dialog shows what remaining bits will be after. Okay. You can buy more bits. Okay, confirms the transaction. The bits amount displayed in the dialog is locked in. When processing is completed, a message is sent to your extension front end through the on transaction complete. The product is configured in the calendar broadcast to all users. A message is sent to all instances of your extension running. Okay, so if it only goes to you, only instances running on the channel where the bits transaction was initiated and the viewer initiation is logged in. Okay. Okay, with the extension helper, we should get an on transaction complete. This function takes a callback that is fired whenever a transaction is, that's canceled, sorry. Complete. We should get all the business. registers the callback that is fired. So we get a transaction object. So we have a thing that is like a receipt, basically, right? Yes, this very thing. It's a JWT containing the following transaction. So this is, if we had this, we could use this as our receipt. The problem is if you are a what if you refresh your browser? What if you refresh your browser? What if you refresh your browser? How do I find, as a user, without searching through every transaction in the history of all time, how do I know am I just missing something? Can I really not find transactions for a user? I don't think we can, right? We can look up transaction IDs, and that's it, which we don't know. Yeah, if an extension developer decides transaction should confer a permanent benefit, it is entirely up to the developer to store and fulfill. Once the receipt has left Twitch, there's no way to replay that message or view a history of past transactions for that user extension. But that's not true, because now you can at least search for all of the extension transactions. Okay, this is a proposal to have persistent. So is this just a proposal? This thing probably never happened. Or they just implemented it in the way that was very silly and you can't. This is all, it was almost easy. It was almost easy. Almost easy. So what? Is this thing going to happen or is this thing not going to happen? Like that transaction receipt is exactly what I want. Is it just we'd want a way to look up my existing transactions. Then that doesn't seem like an unreasonable thing to want, right? Maybe I'm just missing it. Oh boy. Yeah, there just does not seem to be a user get transactions. No, there's just you don't communicate with him. You just turn on your channel and leave it running for days, and then maybe you get an email that says it's okay, or maybe you get an email that says it's don't. As far as communicating with him, that API section that I was just looking at, that API forum, is the place you can do that. I don't have a ton of faith in it. Just looking at the, maybe that's a me problem, but just looking at the exchanges that happen there. Support. Developer forums. I mean, I guess I could go ask on the Twitch Discord server. There's a category for, I think it's a category for API. And there's a separate one for something else. So, yeah, it's almost okay. It's almost okay. If they could just send that payload, then everything would be fine. Then I wouldn't have to do, I would have almost no work to do, except to just look and see, like, hey, do you have a receipt? Show me your receipt. If you don't have a receipt, then forget it. Or if I could just look up a user by transaction, it would be slightly more annoying, but not as annoying as this, which is there's no lookup. There's seemingly no way to say, hey, was there a transaction for this person? So yeah, it's pub sub. Total amount using pub sub, but not what they used. Where are the scopes? Bits information for channel. What's the bits reader? Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, so So it kind of feels like we'd have to do that accounting ourselves. Which I don't want to do that. I mean, we can. It just sucks. Twitch obviously knows it. It's obviously there to look up. So, in the real, okay, because there's like two potentialities that make this annoying. The really easy version is that on transaction complete fires, and you're a user, and you get that transaction, and you have the receipt, and then you just send the receipt to me, and everything's all good. And that would be so easy to implement. But Twitch has no way, seemingly, for an individual user to be able to look up and find their old receipts, which is really stupid. Really, really dumb. But that seems to be a case. What is this message from? What is this shocking international message I just received? Are you just showing me the beautiful pose that I'm in? Life is yours. Is that what I'm seeing here? This important international missive I have just received. I was shocked for a minute. I was like, who is internationally contacting me? Okay, so yes, that seems like a non-starter. Even though that seems like the most obvious thing that you would want as a user to be able to look up the subscription or look up your own purchases and know that they existed, but that seemingly is too much for Twitch to offer. So, and then that endpoint, I'm astounded how stupid this endpoint is. It's kind of amazing. Like, they clearly know the user, so why can't you query by user? That would, if I could, they know user and they know timestamp. So if I could query based on user and timestamp, all my problems would be solved. Is that your? I feel like I make that particular face and pose quite often, but that might be my signature. That might be my signature pose. I don't know. Okay, so I hate this. Okay, and just to be very clear, just to be sure, in extensions, in that extension helper, where was that bits helper? Wait, where is the documentation for the extension helper? Hello? Here? Here. Okay, just to be sure that this is useless. I can get products. I can get transaction complete and canceled. I get the bit balance, I can use bits, but there's no like show my transactions. Okay, so that sucks, but that seems to be the way it works. Really stupid. Really makes things 10 times harder than it should be. And that means also on the server side, I can't just look you up to see if you own a thing. It really sucks. That means that I have to do two things, I guess, if I want to do this, which maybe I don't because it's so annoying, is on startup, I have to, this seems insanely stupid. On startup, I have to hit this endpoint and just get every extension, every purchase ever, every purchase that has ever happened. And I can only get 100 at a time. And just page through every single one of those and load them into memory on the server. Or, you know, like store them on the server somewhere. And then at runtime, also be watching this endpoint, and anytime a new transaction comes through, no, not that one. This webhook, watch this webhook, and anytime a new transaction comes through, again, have to store this and manage it myself because it sounds binary. I can't believe how stupid this is. It is so stupid and would be totally alleviated if they just let you query this endpoint with some parameters that are already there. User ID and date, that's all I need. So yes, I would have to do it in this incredibly stupid way. Now, we could decide how robust I want it to be. I could just not, I could forgo the first part, but that would suck. Like if it had to, the server had to restart and you had purchased something in the last hour, it would be lost while the server was restarting or whatever. It's really bad. Yeah, I think web workers and webhooks, yeah, would be fine. That's all fine. Like we essentially have the endpoint already for our own API, so we would just have to. It's annoying setting up webhooks in the way Twitch wants to do it is annoying. Their process sucks. For validating that you own the webhook is annoying, but we could do it and we could get that. So that's not the worst. That bookkeeping is so stupid and unnecessary because they already clearly have a database of all the data. So why should I have to maintain it as well? Why should I have to maintain my own separate duplicate database when they clearly have it and it is exposed? If it was just the webhook part, it would not be that bad. It would kind of suck. It would definitely suck some because I wouldn't know. The nice thing about my webhooks is that the channel name is in the URL, and that way I can instantly know what durable object to access. So this means I would have to get their request, do a bunch of processing to even figure out what the channel was, get it, decode the payload, verify the payload, all that crap. To find this, because the durable object would be keyed based on this. Or it could be here. We could have separate durable objects per user, I guess. That would be one way to do it. Just have a durable object per person. Which sounds a little crazy, but they do that. The stream, what, like local to them? just running in their browser? That sounds even less reliable, right? Doing all that client side? If that's what you mean. Oh, well, I mean, there already is a durable object per channel, you know? So I would be inclined to just stick everything in there. Although it may, in this one instance, actually be easier to have a durable object tree user, which sounds sort of crazy. Like, that sounds a little silly or nuts to say every single Twitch user gets a durable object. But when you look at their chat example, that's how they do cooldowns. They have a durable object per person. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I already have a durable object per channel is what I'm currently doing. So I could stick all of this in there for sure. Or I could kind of decouple them and just have user state be their own durable object, and that's what would come in from this other service. And then as needed, when clicks came through, I could check for that durable object. I could see it working either way. Either it has to go into the persistent storage of the durable object, or it's like, yeah, let's look at their example. This thing. So the way they do it is they have a totally separate durable object called rate limiter. And so every user, I think, I'm a little confused about this. Rate limiter client. I don't think I understand that. Oh yeah, right, because it's probably called something different. What's it called? Limiters is a rate limiter client. So when someone gets a limiter. Yeah, so this is the limiter ID. Okay, so they do it based on the IP address of the user, but we could, of course we could use the Twitch ID here. So, so this is what happens inside one durable object. Whenever you talk to the chat room, it makes a, excuse me, it makes a, I'm confused by this rate limiter client. Like they're wrapping the limiter in some way. Oh, that's interesting. Like you pay for it on one channel, but then you could use it on another channel. I don't think streamers would want that. I mean, Life is Yours could always just point to my channel and get the kisses. I don't exactly understand what this secondary client is for. Versus... like, why is that separate from the idea of the rate limiter? What is the point of this rate limiter client? Other than them being bad at making examples, because you shouldn't make examples overly complicated. Like... the rate limiter client is the first parameter. What? Why do they do it like this? This is so confusing. So you get the stub. Where do you actually... yeah, they have this dumb thing. Why would they do this? Why wouldn't they just put all this logic in the durable object and instead of having this weird wrapper with this like dummy URL? This seems terrible. Why would you do this? Like the data you care about is in here. I don't know what they're doing. This is pretty weird. I guess it's a little annoying. Well, you could have fetch and post, and you could say post. Yeah, post and get does the current limit. So if it's post, you do the thing. Yeah. So in other words, we could build. So, okay, here's a question though. A thing that just remains very unclear to me with durable objects is how durable are they? Like, you know, there is the notion of the like longer term storage. There's an env dot whatever store where you can store stuff long term. But like, how long can I trust? Like, they're not using that here. They're just using this as like, it's in memory. Like these local variables will just be available to you. But I don't think I could do that for, you know, this is probably on the order of a few seconds. Yeah, 20 seconds. So, but if I want to store something longer term, I think you're supposed to use their whole transactional API thing. This thing, getting and setting stuff. State.storage, which I don't think they use that in here at all. Oh, they do. So what do they put in the storage? Oh, they like store the last 100 chats. So is this when something comes online? This.storage.list. That's the backlog. Where do they actually add anything to storage? That's sanitized message for storage. Okay, so they just cram something in here. Yeah, so you could do this persistent storage thing. And then, I mean, they're not ever cleaning it up. They're just continually adding forever. That's a weird example in some ways. So yeah, so what you would have to do, we'd have to have probably some totally custom thing to just know if because I don't think I can get to the configuration API from the outside, right? So there's this thing called the Twitch configuration service. Yeah. So this is something. And I bet there's not a webhook for this. So I have to look this up myself. It's a broadcaster developer configuration segment for a specified channel. Yeah, so what it would probably be is I would probably have to have a configuration page for the broadcaster that talked directly to the backend that said, hey, I want to, bits are required or they are not required, right? So that is I'd have to build that and to manage all that myself. Like that's totally separate from Twitch. And then we would have to implement the listening so that we would listen for any transactions that came in and we would store them and say like, hey, there's a transaction, great. And then excuse me. Oh, I think there's anything. Excuse me. I don't think there's anything useful in the payload. Just was thinking. Maybe there is one other place that there could be something useful, but I don't think there is. Like, where is the EBS documentation? What's here? So this is what is actually in the payload. Yeah, not useful. We could, I guess, get the channel, and then when the channel came in, you could try to look and see with this. Get the configuration. So you could do that, or we could receive it. Each channel can be retrieved at most 20 times per minute. So you'd want to cache that and watch for updates. So, phew, boy. It's a real hassle. That's how I feel. I'm suddenly becoming Streamlabs, my own self. You know, this complicated service. The thing that's just the most infuriating, obviously, is like just looking. It's just an API problem. They could, if their API took a couple more parameters for looking that stuff up, it'd be way easier. I still would have the problem of knowing if a channel required extensions or not, but that's a much smaller problem. You know, there's way fewer channels. That's just a flag per channel, not a flag per every potential user per channel. Yeah, so if I was going to build it right now, I guess I would build a thing where there'd be persistent, we'd add persistent storage to our channels. And that would let us flag a channel as requiring bits or not, right? So that part, that's relatively easy. That's maybe a few hours work getting that right. So then you could say, hey, I require bits or I don't. And that's just yes or no. That's not even getting into like, can I configure prices or whatever, right? Next is the two-part thing. It kind of has to be a two-part thing. Is the onload, just to make sure that we haven't lost any data, that we're going to go through and run this process and like look at every transaction history and make sure that we didn't miss a beat, and store it ourselves, store a duplicate of the data that's already on Twitch in maybe it's a durable object per user. It's either that or it's in the channel. I don't know which one is more or less annoying. I don't know. And then also we have to set up PubSub. So that thing I just described is some hours of work, like a half day of work. And then separately, we have to set up PubSub to watch for new transactions to come in at any given time, and they get stored in the same place. So the short summary of all of this is that it sucks. That's the summary. It sucks. I wonder if you can talk to durable objects across workers. Like, can you share a durable object across a worker? I kind of don't think you can. Because then we could at least like keep, you know, we'd have a whole separate worker for this. I don't know even how you would do that. Like it seems to be built in such a way that you cannot. Multiple worker instances, that's what we want. That's multiple worker instances, not multiple workers, though, right? Right? That's not super clear. But I don't even know how you would specify it, because it's specified in the TOML file for a single worker. So like, how could you use that somewhere else? I kind of don't think there's a way. Kind of think there's no way. So, is this worth the trouble? Or do I just like do the subs thing because it's easy and hope that somebody will be nice and give me money? Doesn't seem like a way to get money. Like realistically, I'm trying to think of like how much, how much could this possibly be worth it? How much money could possibly be? It would not be fun to build for sure. This would purely be building it because it would be purely for money. Like it would not be fun. It would be annoying. Yeah, you want the trifecta. Like there's a trifecta that I always try to have, which is, does it pay money? Does it advance my career in some way, including learning? And do I enjoy it? And any job I take should do at least two of those things. Like even if it doesn't pay super great, if I enjoy it and advances my career, then it's okay. Or even if I don't really like it, but it does advance my career and it pays well, okay. Or if it doesn't advance my career, but I like it and it pays, like any two of those three, I'm generally okay with. This, I just don't even have an estimate of what the money is, Like, I think we could do it, and I think we could get it working. I think it would be a pain. It would not be fun to do, and it would not be fun to maintain. So it would literally only be because we thought that money would happen. And I just don't know how realized it is. I don't know how realistic that is. Like, yeah, if we had it working, open source it, how am I going to make money from that? Like, if it doesn't make money from bits, Bitcoin miners, there you go. Smart. Yeah, I don't know. Like okay, Kyle, you're the expert on this. If say like some of these hot tub, whatever it's called, swimming pools, hot tubs, and beach streamers install heat, and we make a fun heat extension using the new video technology where everything is pixelated and people will pay bits so they can click and get rid of the pixels. Like, how much money does that actually translate to? Because, it's a question of how much money, like, of the bits that are spent, how much of that goes to the broadcaster, and then of those bits, what's my cut? Like, seems like it's not a lot, potentially. I've got twisted headphone syndrome. Can't have that. Gotta fix this. Oh no. Yeah, I know the video thing. The video thing seems more fun. That's true. What am I done with my headphones? Crowd control? No. How does crowd control work? Yeah, I mean, binary, I'm not totally opposed to that, but it's like, I don't know how quickly I can monetize some of these things because it would be a fair amount of work. Like, yes, bits to see the bits. That's the secret. Yeah, what is crowd control? Oh, in-game effects? Oh, interesting. So you like actually mess with the game. So like we would want to do it in real life. So like if you pay bits, like everybody's clothes fall off. Yeah, I mean binary, yes, except like I guess I'm trying not to do that anymore. But like I am working like a full-time-ish project right now. Yeah, but I want to mess with the games, Kyle. I want to mess with the real people and their real swimming pools and their real clothes. I mean, in effect, like messing with the video itself, especially with our new video feature. I don't know if you caught much of that particular stream, Kyle. I think you just caught it at the end with the bouncing DVD player. But the idea is like real-time video effects. Heat-enabled clothing? Yeah, sure. Could have X-ray vision with heat. I mean, the simplest use case is literally I build a video effect that is pixelated, like it's being censored, and you pay some bits, and then you can click to uncensor parts of the video. For example. But we could, I mean, that'd just be one example. We could build all kinds of video effects that are not as pervy. Kind of like the kisses, but instead of the kisses, just being a surface effect, you could actually manipulate the video. Yeah, it feels like a thing that would be popular. I just am trying to think like it would be days of work to build in the bit monetization. And do I care? How much do I care? I really wish there was a way for extension developers to monetize. Do I care? Do you think it's really that much money? It costs a lot to make me care. I mean, it costs a lot of money to make me do something I don't want to do, basically. And I don't even say that as like being a hotshot. It's hard. It's hard for me to care about things I don't care about. I'm not good at working on things I don't care about. And that, unless I charge a lot. The current click rate on Heat is not crazy. Tens of thousands. It was like 10 million total since the start, but I think I was actually getting a lot of double clicks. So currently, yeah, but do I want to do custom projects? Like, I'm not that interested in work for hire ever. I mean, the only custom project that I'm doing right now is the Video Police, and I don't know why I'm doing that. Because someday you're going to give me $50,000 for it. I believe that day will come. Where's the stupid thing? Where's the under attack? The dashboard. Like in the last week, we have some tens of thousands of clicks, maybe. We had 20,000 in the last 24 hours. Yeah, I don't know, man. Of his moats? I don't know about I've heard about his moats. There are other Warren Buffett concepts that I like, but I don't remember moats. I haven't looked deeply into the Twitch API stuff because it's annoying to get. It's like an API request to get a URL to get a CSV that you then have to parse. So I have not looked deeply. It is possible. Some number of these is an options request, but it shouldn't be double anymore. It shouldn't be. I might be wrong about that, but it should not be double. But you know, I mean, a fair number of people have Heat installed. It's not a crazy number, but like, and when people use Heat, they love to click real fast. So like, it's pretty easy to get 100 clicks for a person. Like, the thing it comes down to for me is, as you know, I'm only interested in working on what I'm interested in working on, with some few exceptions if I think there's like a big benefit to me working on a thing I'm not interested in. And so like doing a thing I'm not interested in to potentially get more work doing things I'm not interested in is not a big motivator for me. If it was like passive income that I didn't have to think about very much, that would, you know, that's always helpful. That is always welcome. Passive income is a helpful thing. I'm looking for more kinds of passive income. I wonder how many bits I really get. I don't know what the split is, unfortunately. You know what the split is? Okay, every bit is a penny. Got it. Okay. Got it. Okay, 100 bits. Great. Great. But I only get a percentage of bits, right? And I don't know, and I don't get to determine it. It's determined by Twitch. And it's weirdly weird. All it says is the bits are split. Maybe it's 50-50? I don't know. I don't actually know. Yeah, but I don't think we pick that split. Unless you know it's, do you know it's 80-20? Because I don't think it is. Yeah, it's in the, oh, you know, somewhere. Monetizing extensions section. Monetizing extensions. It just says revenue from bits used in an extension is shared between the broadcaster and the extension developer, but it doesn't actually give you the ratio. Now I'm talking about this. This is what would determine how much money I made. This right here. Yeah, because that's how it would work. I mean, unless I, you know, worked out some exclusive deal, you know, signed a contract with a streamer, which is maybe what you're saying. But this would be more like anybody on all of Twitch that used Heat, any bits that went through Heat, I would get. Which seems like it could not, you know, it seems like it could be okay. It seems like that could be okay. But it's annoying. It's actually way easier to do this and just say subs get clicks, but then I don't get any money. Oh, did you find it? That is a terrible link, Life is Yours. Can I even click it? No, I have to highlight it and copy and paste it. Oh, okay. It is 80-20. That's funny. So you had it right. Kyle, you had it right. It is 80-20. So I would get 0.2 cents per bit. Rich. What was a bit per click? Is that crazy? Every time you click costs a penny? Is that crazy? Perfect. It's just so annoying. It's just so annoying. $10 bits per click. But the per click accounting is like the worst. I would only do it. I really think I would only do the time based, where you could get, I don't know, for the next 10 minutes or something. Maybe that's not bad. 10 bits for 10 minutes or something. Then I actually don't have to care as much. The problem is the browser refresh. That really sucks. Like, it almost would work with no problem if I could look up your... Oh boy. There's just no, unfortunately, the API is terrible. And there's no way, if you buy something and then you refresh your browser, there's no way to look up what you have purchased in a reasonable way. There's an unreasonable way to do it where you sift through every transaction ever for the extension, trying to find a recent one by you, which would suck so much. It's just, man, that sucks. I guess I could like try to sort in a cookie or something. But what I'm saying, Life is Yours, is I don't want to have to store I don't want to have to do bookkeeping on this stuff because the bookkeeping is already all on Twitch. So like, it's the part that sucks is, yes, of course, I could build my own database and I could track all these transactions and I could populate it on Server Start and I could listen to all of them coming in. But why should I, when there's already an API that has all the information? It just won't let me query it in a reasonable way. It's just so stupid. But I guess you could just do it with a cookie or something, but then, you know, it's that one browser and it's just not the best user experience. But it's so stupid that I would have to do it right and in a robust way, I have to fully do all the bookkeeping, and that's terrible. Terrible. It's really bad. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, that's so annoying that it would be such a hassle. I mean, I don't know. It just sucks. I like, then I look like I'm the one who has created a terrible user experience when in fact it's Twitch who created the terrible developer experience, you know? Like, it feels bad for me to, I don't want to do that. I don't want to pass forward a bad experience just because Twitch made a bad developer experience, you know? I just would not feel good about creating that. It's so dumb. So I can do my own service. That's interesting. That's for my service to put. I wish the helper was a little more helpful. Because we can get this. What if this is signed in some way? Integrity is the core of my being. Personal integrity is like almost the only thing I have, I feel like. I'm just an old forgotten person, like slumped in a chair somewhere. Integrity and like dignity will be gone just by virtue of being ground down by time, but I can at least carry personal integrity. Like one of the few things I have agency over. I'm just trying to think if there's any way to do this that is less terrible. Like, it's annoying enough. Not social integrity, personal integrity. It doesn't have bearing on other people, but like if it passes through me, it's a reflection on me what I do with it. Like I don't want to do anything exploitative or intentionally like create a bad experience. There's a I don't always agree with Jonathan Blow, but he talks about things. There's like, it's an interesting. I don't know that I fully align with it, but he talks about this aspect of software development that is like a moral imperative almost, where it's like if you write software, I forgot the exact example he gives, but it's like say you make this editor and there's something about it that it's a little bit slow, but like a million people use it, and because it takes 10 seconds to do a thing that should take 1 second, you've wasted, you know, 90 million seconds of 10 million people using it. And it's like you are then personally responsible because you didn't optimize this one thing that you could have optimized. You're personally responsible for whatever it ends up being, tens or hundreds or thousands of hours of wasted time because you just didn't do the thing the way you should have done it. And like, you know, those lines are personal lines and you have to decide. But like, I wouldn't make a thing where just because where you lost money because you refreshed your web browser is just not a thing that I would do. I would just never do that. No, I know. Well, I don't know. Like I can, like, you know, I do work for nonprofits and I do work with a lot of work with the Children's Museum in Pittsburgh, and I don't have, my integrity does not feel compromised for those things. In fact, it's been a while since I've taken a job. I definitely had jobs that did feel compromising to my integrity, especially when I felt so crushed by my student loans that it was like I have to take this job because I have to I have to make money to pay my loans and survive. And so, but it has been probably 4 years since I took a job like that that was like personally uncomfortable in that way. But who knows? You know, I have super expensive healthcare problems, and it's very possible that I will end up in a situation at some point where it's like I have to compromise on that, and it's, you know, that's life. You unfortunately have to compromise on those things when you have to. But like, if I don't have to, I don't. And I also, just for myself, like my personal way, like I hate, you know, I've talked about this a lot. You've seen me complain about it a lot. I don't like doing things the wrong way. I don't like doing things badly. I get no pleasure out of that. So if I'm going to do a thing, perfect. I don't have, I don't know. I don't have, I certainly don't have any kind of like moral judgment to put on the hot tub streamers at all. Not at all, actually. The like weird corporate song and dance of Twitch around that stuff, I find pretty, I don't know, kind of scuzzy sometimes. Like all the corporate part of that is the grossest part to me. Like the arrangement of somebody who wants to hang out at a hot tub for money, like that arrangement, as long as no one is feeling exploited, I don't. It's definitely not for me to pass judgment on that, but Twitch's handling of it is a little, you know. What if you just paid and you could click and you could put clothes on them, and we would do like an AI pose estimation, and we could figure out where the clothes were, and you could just put clothes. You could force them to wear clothes. Okay, yeah, the exploitation they're looking for might be a little bit different than what I'm going to offer. Like I don't know. I that is a realm that I just don't necessarily want to participate in. Not necessarily out of like a moral quandary, but it's just like, I don't know. It's not a realm that I want to be involved in. Like I don't want to create things for that purpose. But there's some niceness to creating a thing that people want to use. And there's a advantage. If I could have a modest amount of passive income that would help me make the things I would want to make, like it would be easier for me to just do the things I want to do all day and work on what I want to work on all day if I had a steadier form of passive income. And so like that factors in for sure as far as like what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do. But I've never been very good at that. I've never liked it. It just doesn't come very naturally to me. Like cultivating those income streams is hard for me to make myself care about. I do like, I mean, I will say, we've had some conversations about this. I do like the idea of some heat experiences that are battles. Like, I think that's actually kind of funny. And that's what the right click thing was going to be about, but then I chickened out about adding the right clicks. So like, I don't know. Okay, so as this stands, it sucks. It just sucks. Like Twitch, unsurprisingly, the API is, maybe I'm just missing something very obvious, but it seems bad. So I'm trying to decide, like, do I even think it's worth going through this? Because working on things I don't want to work on just makes my life worse. It makes my life worse. What are you going to incubate? Binary, you should just become an influencer with your dog. Just become like a famous Instagram influencer with pictures of your dog and your live dog cam. Charge bits to feed treats to your dog. That might be unhealthy for the dog. So, yeah. This doesn't seem fun. The money is possible, but not guaranteed. And doing the part that really sticks in my craw is doing a whole lot of work when it's so clear that there should be an easier way. Like, it's so clear that with a very minor change to their API, all of this would be not a problem. So that is the thing that's a real kick in the pants. I don't think, yeah, somewhere in here this is how we get that. Is that true? No? Is this not how we would get that thing? No, it's here. So when there is a bits transaction. Yeah, so we could know. We could know. The UI would also be a pain to really figure out. Is your dog on Instagram? I don't know. I'm really torn on this. I think I just need to think about this more. My like instant instinct is I just don't want to do it. Because it seems like a pain to do it right. It seems like a real pain to do it right. The subs thing would be way easier. Which would be very useful for streamers, I'm sure. I just don't get any money for it. So do we do the video thing instead? I mean, Life is Yours, any of that stuff I do, I mean, as soon as it's my responsibility, there's just a whole can of worms that I have to care about. Like, so yeah, I have all the information I need potentially. It's just in a really stupid, that's just not in the most useful way. If I could guarantee that my server would never go down and there'd never be a hiccup, then all we need is this. Well, not this. Wherever the next thing is after we create the webhook, but it's this. No, where is it? Yeah, it should be this. Why is it showing the webhook create? Okay, it's just not showing the payload. That's weird. Okay. Oh, no, wait, that's the wrong one. Wait, what? Subscription information. Is this the wrong documentation? When a new transaction is created for an extension. Yeah, so we would watch this and we would get it. I don't know why they're showing a subscription here. Because we're not talking about subscriptions. Right? We're talking about a bits transaction. Well, I don't have a server. It would all be Cloudflare workers. So it would be, which I already have, and I already have durable objects per channel. So the workers, the worker functions would do all the work. The real time is not bad. The webhook, because we can still do that with a worker. So we could do the real time thing. And when this, I think this documentation is messed up because this doesn't seem right. Maybe it's in here. Yeah, this. Yeah, the product. We'd only have one product probably. We would get that, and then we would store it either in the durable object for the channel or a user durable object. Actually, wait. This is even stupider. No, it's okay. Okay, no, never mind. We have the broadcaster ID, so we can figure it out. It doesn't have the channel ID. It has a broadcaster ID, which is technically the same as the channel ID, I think. Maybe they're identical. Sometimes they call them different things. Okay, so that's okay. So we would know you. Yeah, so we could get this. If it was just this part, we would know that you paid. And that would not be the worst. We would store it in some durable way and we would know. The three things that are missing then are, what is the way for the broadcaster to say that the channel requires bits? And two, what is the way if, well, yeah, two is like, what is the process? You know, what's the UI for paying for bits? And three, the hardest part is, what if the server goes down for a moment and you bought bits, you know, we don't get your transaction event, or we miss a window of, a transaction happening. Because these are just alerts. It's not like there's a brokering, I don't think, a way to like broker and verify, you know, verify that a transaction was redeemed the way there is, you know, they do that for channel events or channel points, but bits don't have that. The subscription tier is an alternate thing, but I don't get a cut of subscription tier stuff. So that's like an alternate way to monetize bits, but I don't get anything from that. It's just the broadcaster they get subs. But seemingly I don't get like a cut of I don't get a cut of subscriptions or anything. It's lame. It's quite lame. It's quite lame. And it's annoying. Oh, you think so? Was that? Well, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe you're right. Whether or not they're subscribed, maybe you're right. This doesn't seem... I don't know. This is confusing. That doesn't seem relevant to this. Maybe you're right. So... I don't know, man. This seems really annoying. So what I'm going to say... Binary, what I'm going to say is that you're probably right to like get people using it first and then worry about ways to monetize, I guess. Because right now it'd be a bunch of work and then there'd potentially be nothing. Whereas you're right, if I did make the video thing, which is still a bit of a hassle for sure. There's lots of questions to figure out with the video thing, but it seems at least more interesting. If we did that, then... yeah, I don't know. We've done almost nothing on the stream except for work on Kyle's thing and then complain. I didn't mean to be cranky again. I just wanted to look and see the way to do it. And it turns out that the API. Well, it wouldn't be me though, right? It would be, the features would be free no matter what, and then it would be the broadcaster could decide to turn on monetization or not. So it would be up to the broadcaster to do that. So it's not like I'm giving away something free and then charging for it. It's more like I have functionality now, and then I would have additional functionality that lets a broadcaster do a thing that they want to do. So yeah, their viewers might be mad if they do that, but that is them. That's them doing it. It's not me charging for something that was previously free, you know? Because it could still be free. You could still use it for nothing. Heat will still be free, and it can still be used without paying for bits or whatever. So yeah, let's try to... I'm going to think I'm done for today, and then tomorrow we'll stream and try to figure out some of the video stuff, because we had a good start on it. We have an okay start on that video thing. There's definitely some open questions about negotiating like the ID back and forth. Hey man, the big streamers. That's... Binary's got a green screen and a puppy. Ready to go. Ready for the video thing. Yeah. I think we can figure that out. You know, the biggest question about the video thing, actually, is, you know, it's a client server kind of thing, basically. Like one web browser has to take control of your webcam and then broadcast it into Twitch. I mean, into OBS, basically, which is dumb that we have to do that, but we can do it. And the one thing I'm not decided on is where do we do the effects? So either the broadcasting side just broadcasts vanilla video, and then the effects are all on the browser side, which is the way I did it last time. Basically, the client decides what the effects are, or the server applies the effects and then sends them out. I don't know which way I want to do it. I guess it's the latter, because then you could have like multiple client windows set up to show different effects for one source. And you could have somebody send you a source that was like a totally vanilla source, and then you on the end. I mean, to be clear, the client and the server are both running on your computer, right? They're both web browsers, so it's not like a remote server. It's not like the work is still all client side, quote unquote. It's just they're two web browsers. One's a web browser and one is the OBS browser, a browser overlay. Yeah, I'll probably keep it the way that I have it, where the browser decides. The problem then is that it's more annoying to change the settings versus if you did it in the server window, then you could just have drop downs, whatever, configure it, change whatever you want without having to go to OBS. I mean, it's all going to be single thread. It's probably just 3JS or Pixie. Guess we could try to do web workers or something. Yeah, I don't know. There's you could argue either way, I guess. What to view and get all configured. I don't know. It's going to be annoying. It's finicky, unfortunately. It's like a finicky thing to make a broadcaster deal with versus just don't even think about it. Just go to this URL in an OBS overlay and then it's easy. It's obnoxious, but not sure what to do about that. Okay, I'm gonna be done. Kyle, Life is Yours, Binary Z, thanks for hanging out with me while I was being cranky. Maybe tomorrow will be a better day. I just need to work on something pleasant, something that I enjoy for a minute. Maybe we should just like carve some mangoes. Just like buy a bunch of mangoes and just carve them into something. That's probably a thing people do. Anyway, okay. Some wooden dodecahedrons. I did build a funny you should finish that. I do actually, I mean, I would love to spend the entire day building wooden dodecahedrons, of course. For a while I was building these like 3D printed connectors. Like this is one that it's just like a 3D printed connector that takes toothpicks and you can make a thing. And that one was okay. And then I had some others that I gave away. And then this one was like with dowel rods where you just kind of 3D print little connectors at the right angle and stick in the dowel rods. I haven't been doing much 3D printing the last month or two. But that's why I want a laser cutter, because I would prefer to laser cut these. Yeah, we could make some stuff and print some stuff. Sure we could. But I think tomorrow we'll just try to take the video thing a little bit further, because we had an okay start on it. We got the bouncing DVD head. Wait, what have you found here? There's something going on with it. Wait, what's going on here? Can you translate in, does Edge have translating? I don't know how to translate in Edge. Do I have Chrome on this computer? I thought there was like a magical, hey, let's translate this thing button that would come up in Chrome sometimes. How do you do that? Translate to English. Okay. Oh, okay. Very good. Wait, I'm not allowed to look at this outside of Norway? Ah. So salmon Face ID. Cool. Perfect. Okay, this is very good. Thank you for letting me know. This is very important news. critical news. Thank you, and good night. Goodbye.